Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this special occasion. My name is Brent Wren. I'm the Associate Provost at the University of Alabama in Huntsville and also the Commencement Marshal. It is my distinct honor to guide you through today's ceremony. You know, I think I enjoy this ceremony more than any other because of the outstanding holiday music, and I'd like you to join me in thanking Dr. David Ragsdale and the UAH Wind Ensemble for that splendid music. Before we begin, just a couple of quick announcements. Please remember to silence your electronic devices to avoid creating disturbances in the ceremony. And second, we do have professional photographers on site today taking photos of your graduates, so please refrain from standing in the aisle or coming down to the rail to avoid safety hazards. Today, we're gathered to celebrate the culmination of years of hard work and to observe one of academia's most ancient and solemn ceremonies, the awarding of degrees. Let us begin then with a tradition that dates back to the Middle Ages, a procession of scholars. UAH doctoral candidates, UAH master's students, and UAH undergraduate students from the colleges of Business Administration, Engineering, Liberal Arts, Nursing, and Science. UAH faculty, researchers, and staff. Please welcome members of the University of Alabama system staff and members of the Board of Trustees. Academic deans, vice presidents, and administrators. And ladies and gentlemen, the President of the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Dr. Robert Altenkirk. Please rise for the presentation of the colors. Dr. Aaron King will sing our national anthem. Please remain standing for the invocation given by nursing graduate Sarah McHugh. Gentlemen, please remove your caps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Grace and peace to you on this joyous afternoon. I offer today's invocation in recognition of the many paths by which our students, faculty, staff, and guests have traveled to arrive at this momentous occasion. Please bow your heads with me for a moment of prayer. Almighty God, we praise and thank you for the motivation and determination that you have bestowed upon us to aid in our achievement of this goal. We offer back to you our collegiate experience, every joy, sorrow, and moment of pride. We give it all back to you, God, that you may continue to shape, mold, and stretch us. We thank you, Lord, for those in our lives who have supported and encouraged us on this journey. We leave here today prepared and excited to begin this next chapter that you have in store for us, the careers and places that we will become a part of, and the lives that we will touch using the knowledge we have gained. Continue to bless each of us as we make our way out into the world. In your precious name, amen.
You may be seated.
My name is Christine Curtis. I serve as the Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs for the University of Alabama in Huntsville. Today we are pleased that you have joined our university community in recognizing the academic achievements of our students at their graduation. They have been diligent in their studies and have successfully completed the requirements for their degrees in their chosen fields. It is fitting for us to celebrate this transition in their lives, for this graduation marks a symbolic crossing of a threshold where our students step forward to become active, educated members and leaders in society. We celebrate the accomplishments of the women and men we honor today. These students have learned and grown in their knowledge and skills. They have achieved academically and in many other ways while they have been studying at the university. We are proud of each of them, proud of their efforts, their accomplishments, and their contributions to the academic community and to the community at large. I speak on behalf of the faculty, researchers, and staff of the University of Alabama in Huntsville to say that we are honored to have been a part of their lives. Now let me speak directly to our graduating students. You represent our very best. As consummate teachers, we have high expectations for you. We expect that each of you will positively impact the field in which you work and those with whom you work. We expect that each of you will change your corner of the world for the better. I am speaking for all who have taught you and worked with you at UAH. Each of you have touched us in many ways. You have helped us to grow by asking questions and by challenging our ideas. We will miss you, and yet we are happy that you are moving on to another chapter in your lives. We are confident that you will serve as ambassadors and as standard bearers for our university, and that you will use your gifts and knowledge to contribute to your communities, society, our nation, and our world. We encourage you to continue in your role as scholars and be actively engaged in lifelong learning as you pursue your dreams. It is an honor to introduce you to representatives of the distinguished faculty and staff of the University of Alabama in Huntsville. Seated on the stage are the deans. They are Dean Karen St. John of the College of Business Administration, Dean Shankar Malahingam of the College of Engineering, Interim Dean Mitch Burbrier of the College of Liberal Arts, Dean Marcia Adams of the College of Nursing, Dean Sundar Christopher of the College of Science, Dean David Berkowitz of the School of Graduate Studies, Dean William Wilkerson of the Honors College, and Dean Regina Young Hyatt, who is Dean of Students. As an institution of higher learning, our reputation and our ability to fulfill our mission depends on the faculty and researchers. Our faculty and researchers are committed to excellence in teaching, research, creative activities, and service. The faculty and researchers have taught and mentored today's graduating students and have engaged them in the joy of learning, the excitement of discovery, the satisfaction of problem solving, and the gratification of creative activities, forming the very foundation of our university's quality and reputation. Please join with me in congratulating our faculty and researchers for their outstanding contributions to our university. It is now my pleasure to introduce the President of the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Dr. Robert Altenkirk.
Thank you, Christine. Honored guest, Joe Ritch, who will deliver the commencement address shortly. UA System staff member Charles Nash, Trustee Karen Brooks, President Pro Tem of the Board of Trustees of the University of Alabama, Trustee Judge John England Jr., Trustee Barbara Humphrey, Trustee Marietta Urquhart, Trustee Emeritus Sid McDonald, Vice Presidents and Deans, distinguished faculty and staff, and alumni. Among life's milestones, commencement is an exceptional day for many people. Above all, it is a day that celebrates the commitment and tireless efforts of all those who will soon receive their degrees. Malcolm Gladwell, journalist and writer for The New Yorker, in his book Outliers, The Story of Success, noted that practice isn't the thing that you do once you're good, it's the thing you do that makes you good. All of you practiced a lot to be here today, and you can be quite proud of that. From its beginnings in 1950, when the first classes were offered at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, then an extension center of the University of Alabama, to 1961, when Werner von Braun secured funding from the Alabama legislature to establish a research institute, to UAH graduate student Jim Ashburn's 1987 discovery of high-temperature superconductivity, to UAH's classification by the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching as a very high research activity university, one of only 73 such public universities in the U.S. This is a great university, and your degree will have much currency in the marketplace. Parents, families, friends, and graduates, thank you for being here today to celebrate this milestone in the lives of our graduates. I'm pleased now to introduce our fall 2014 commencement speaker, Joe Ritch. Joe Ritch is chairman of the board for the Tennessee Valley Authority, a corporation owned by the United States government that provides electricity for 9 million people in 7 southeastern states, including North Alabama. Mr. Ritch is well known throughout the region for his work as chairman of the Tennessee Valley Base Realignment and Closure Commission, which culminated in the relocation of federal agencies and commands to the Redstone Arsenal. An attorney, Mr. Ritch is a graduate of the University of Alabama in Huntsville, the Cumberland School of Law at Samford University, and New York University. He co-chairs the Privacy and Data Security and Government Contracting practice groups at Sorority's Huntsville office. Joe has been a longtime supporter of UAH and was a member of the inaugural class of UAH Alumni of Achievement in 2002, in addition to being named Outstanding Alumnus in 1982. Joe also served on the UAH Foundation Board, the UAH Eminent Scholars Foundation as president, and is a lifetime member of the President's Council. Joe is the founder of the UAH Ice Hockey Program and served as the volunteer coach for numerous years, leading the Chargers to 3 national championships as a club team. Team currently plays in the NCAA Division I Western Collegiate Hockey Association. Joe was named to the Charger Hall of Honor for his contributions to the university's athletics program. Joe served as a member of the University of Alabama Board of Trustees from 2005 to 2011 and was named Trustee Emeritus in 2011. His awards include Distinguished Service Award from the Huntsville-Madison County Chamber of Commerce, where he also served on the Chamber's Board of Directors, Dr. Werner von Braun Memorial Community Service Award in 2011, Department of the U.S. Army Commander's Award for Public Service, induction into the North Alabama Business Hall of Fame in 2011, the Redstone Good Neighbor Award in 2010, and induction into the Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. And in addition to all that, Joe's a nice guy. So please join me in welcoming Joe Ritch.
Sounds like I have attention deficiency syndrome. I cannot stay with a single thing very long. I would also like to add that Dr. Altenkirk has done something that's very important to those of us that spent thousands and thousands of hours in this place, coaching over there, out here, And I want to personally thank you for saving our hockey program. That is very dear to me and something that will always be appreciated. And I would also add, you'd only have to go around the country very few times to pick up pretty quickly that it is something that distinguishes this campus from many, many other places, and it's always been a source of pride of my involvement. I have talked to a lot of people about giving graduation or commencement speeches and basically get no ideas and a lot of bad ideas that you might want to consider implementing. So the first thing I did is I said, okay, I know you're inquisitive, I know you're smart students, and I'm sure you have some probing questions. It was the same questions I've had every time I've attended a commencement speech. One, who am I? Why am I here? How did I get a degree? How am I going to get a degree for doing nothing? And how long am I going to get talking to you? My question back is I have no idea why I'm getting ready to make a commencement speech to people that are 1/3 of my age. I have very little in connection with your youth group and the age people yours, so I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And as one who has attended many graduations, I'm fairly sure, this is repeated over, nobody's going to remember what I say, who I am, or why I'm here. But at the same time, you asking the question, if that's the case, why are you making me do this? Why are you having to listen? I am convinced, having been around the academic world a little bit as a trustee, that this is the way that the academic world tortures you the last time before they turn you loose. Again, nobody knows what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, and you will walk out of here, that's the end of it. As I searched the internet, which is the source of all information, to find something to talk about, I came across many, many commencement speeches. There are hundreds given every year. Despite my best efforts, I couldn't find any that I wanted to plagiarize. And for the faculty members, please don't report me for things that I'm going to say here, because I'm not attributing everything to somebody, even though somebody else said it. So I've compiled some random thoughts and suggestions that I find helpful as I have gone through my getting to be very elderly life. Since I don't know where a lot of them came from, I'm going to do them without attribution, but here it goes. By the way, we've worked out a system with my former fellow trustees, which ones are meant to be funny, so I encourage you, if they laugh, you laugh. Remember, they have the final say-so whether you get your degree or not. A lot of these are random, as I mentioned. You can count on the small-minded to object to great ideas. You're going to have many great ideas, and many object when you try to sell those ideas. Just ignore them, move past them, pat them on the head, and send them on their way. Avoid self-pity. Your worst day is far better than the best day for the hungry child living in a place without hope. Never underestimate the power of the uninformed. Unfortunately, they do vote in large numbers. They're catching on to which ones are supposed to be. Don't expect people to be fair because you're fair to them. That's like expecting the lion not to eat you just because you didn't eat him. Hate, anger, and revenge are like cancer. They will eat you alive. The first rule of leadership, take more than your share of the blame and less than your share of credit. The truth of the matter, you do not have to worry about that being a rule because that's what those around you are going to do anyway. Do not confuse silence with agreement. You can't control who comes into your life, but you can control which window to throw them out of. Compromise is not a sign of weakness. It reflects one's appreciation of the opinion of others and the need to include them in the solution. Apparently, Washington does not consider this something they should be doing to all of our detriment. Avoid arguments with those people who get all their news from a single cable news channel. If they were interested in others' opinions, they would change the channel. And I believe this is Martin Luther King, but I'm not sure. War is poor chisel for carving out a peaceful tomorrow. Unfortunately, we now have guided missiles and misguided men that think war should be the first response to disagreements. If you think you're at the top of the food chain, spend a few days in the cage with a hungry tiger and see who comes out of the bottom. Dream things as they should be and say, why not? That's a variation of something George Bernard Shaw said. Dogs are better than people. Even the Pope thinks they're not going to heaven. I am not sure about cats. You've got 7 holes. By the way, I got this one from a professional hockey player, so it means a little bit. You've got 7 holes in your head. Keep 6 open and 1 shut, and you'll do well in life. And just so you have forgotten, don't trip when you cross the stage. And finally, never ever accept an invitation to give a commencement speech. That's not really the end. I got another 20 minutes. No. I started at UAH in a strange decade for our nation. In a span of just 54 months, President Kennedy, Dr. Martin Luther King, and Robert Kennedy were assassinated. Civil rights workers were being beaten and killed throughout the South by those that were the worst of mankind. A church bomb just 100 miles south of here took the lives of 4 young ladies that were there to worship. We were in a very unpopular war that took the lives of more than 50,000 young Americans. Think about that number. Many of them were planning on going here. Several of them I went to high school with. Somehow, in the midst of all this hatred and craziness, President Kennedy called on the nation to take man to the moon and return him safely before the end of the decade. He challenged the best and the brightest. People saw the impossible as possible. People asked, why not go to the moon? And they got there in less than 8 years. And if you think about those that have been around the space program, what a miraculous feat that was. I happened to look up these numbers recently. They sent this vehicle that was made down the road. It was almost a football field tall. When it was fully loaded, it was 5 million pounds. And in about 12 minutes, it was traveling at 24,500 miles an hour. That's done by those people that surround you and are part of UAH. It was America at its best, and most of the space program was centered less than 1 mile from our campus. Sometimes I've had people say, well, that's so long ago, well, let's think about it. Maybe it's not. Watch on TV how many ads refer to the space program when they refer to the quality of their products. Look at the fact that no other country has been able to get there. Look at the fact that we now are considering a new program to Mars and beyond on the Orion. You think of all the technologies that came out of that. It is one of those things that it will always be considered one of the most important moments in the history of mankind. I have said this before, that it's amazing that we had 2 Alabamas going on at that time. We had the situation south of here where people were being hung, children being killed, and one of the most important technology events occurring just 100 miles away. I don't think you can reconcile those 2 situations. But the space program and those that made it successful are part of the DNA of UAH. Much of what UAH is today is because of those who reached for the stars and said, why not? They wanted a strong research university and challenging programs in engineering, the sciences, the arts, and humanities. Sometimes we forget some of those things, like the symphony in Huntsville, a result of those people that moved to our community from another country and said, this is part of being a quality community. But most of all, what they wanted out of UAH was to produce students who saw difficult challenges as opportunities. Graduates who do complicated things, not because they're easy, but because they're hard. UAH has given you the tools to accomplish great things. Now it's your turn to say, why not? Congratulations on your graduation, and charge on.
Thank you, Joe. I'm pleased at this time to confer on Joe Ritch the degree Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. The citation on this diploma reads, "The Board of Trustees of the University of Alabama awards to Joe H. Ritch the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and honors thereunto appertaining. In testimony whereof, this diploma is issued with the seal of the board and the signatures authorized by the trustees hereunto affixed. Conferred at the University of Alabama in Huntsville on this month of December 2014.
Will the candidates for all doctoral degrees please stand? President Altenkirk, the School of Graduate Studies is pleased to present these candidates who have completed the requirements for the Doctor of Nursing Practice and the Doctor of Philosophy degrees. On behalf of the graduate faculty, I recommend that the degrees be conferred.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty of the University of Alabama in Huntsville, I confer upon each of you this degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to that degree. Congratulations to you for this recognition of your scholarly contributions to the body of knowledge.
Will the candidates and their escorts please come to the stage? The doctoral candidates will be hooded by the college dean and their faculty advisor. Candidates will enter the stage on my right.
Khalid El-Sadegh Al-Balul is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and will be hooded by his advisor, Dr. Keith Hollingsworth. His dissertation title is Heat Transfer Enhancement Caused by Sliding Non-Condensable Gas Bubbles in a Mini-Channel. Malikarjun Avula is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and will be hooded by his advisor, Dr. Songmu Yu. His dissertation title is Security Framework for Hybrid Wireless Mesh Protocol in Wireless Networks. Christopher Leon Braun is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy, and his advisor is Dr. Don Utley. He will be hooded by Dr. Samson Golston. His dissertation title is Status Quo Bias and Ambiguity Aversion in Engineers. Anne Hobson Kissel is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy. Her advisor is Dr. Don Utley. She will be hooded by Dr. James Swain. Her dissertation title is The Effects of Telecommuting Group Members on Aspects of Knowledge Worker Group Conflict. Olusegun Samuel Sholiyi is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and will be hooded by his advisor, Dr. John Williams. His dissertation title is Electromagnetic Characterization of Photodefinable Ferrite-Loaded Polymers and Their Applications in Microrectangular Coaxial Phase Shifters. Stephen G. Adams. His degree, Doctor of Philosophy, will be awarded posthumously and is being received on his behalf by his wife, Carrie Adams. The hood will be presented by his advisor, Dr. Phil Farrington. His dissertation title is Comparative Analysis and Characterization of the Factors Impacting Cost Growth for Systems and Systems of Systems within the DoD. Reem Al-Bashaira is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and will be hooded by her advisor, Dr. Shangbing Ai. Her dissertation title is Traveling Wave Solutions of a Chemotaxis Model, Existence and Stability. Tae Kwang Kim is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy. His advisor is Dr. Nikolai Pogorelov. He will be hooded by Dr. Jacob Herrikhausen. His dissertation title is Modeling the Solar Wind Outflow Using Boundary Conditions from Interplanetary Scintillation Observations. Eric James Zernstein is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and will be hooded by his advisor, Dr. Jacob Herrikhausen. His dissertation title is Simulating Hydrogen Energetic Neutral Atom Flux Measurements for NASA's IBEX mission. Kristen Ann Lakios is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and will be hooded by her advisor, Dr. Richard Liu. Her dissertation title is Bound Orbits and Virialized Systems in a Dark Energy Universe. Sherry Lee Welsh is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy and was advised by Dr. Jeffrey Evans and Dr. Keith Hollingsworth. She will be hooded by Dr. Emmanuel Waddell. Her dissertation title is Atomic Scale Study of the Influence of Grain Boundary Character on Segregation and Oxidation in Commercially Pure Nickel. Elizabeth Ann Bailey is receiving a Doctor of Nursing Practice and will be hooded by her advisor, Dr. Pam O'Neill. Her scholarly project title, Pain, Agitation, and Delirium in the ICU, Implementation of an Integrated Assessment Bundle Leading to Patient Outcomes. Doris Elizabeth Clark is receiving a Doctor of Nursing Practice and will be hooded by her advisor, Dr. Kathy Newman. Her scholarly project title is Adolescent Depression Screening in a Pediatric Practice. Stedman Lee McPeters is receiving a Doctor of Nursing Practice and will be hooded by his advisor, Dr. Susan Alexander. His scholarly project title, A Proposal for Engaging Student Participation in a Professional Nurses Organization. Susan Michelle Perdue is receiving a Doctor of Nursing Practice and will be hooded by her advisor, Dr. Haley Hoy. Her scholarly project, Implementing Antibiotic De-Escalation Using the Antibiotic Stewardship Model. Doris H. Hinton is receiving a Doctor of Nursing Practice and will be hooded by her advisor, Dr. Brenda Talley. Her scholarly project, Increasing Continuous Positive Airway Pressure Compliance in the Middle-Aged Client with Obstructive Sleep Apnea. Joyce LaFollette Shea is receiving a Doctor of Nursing Practice and will be hooded by her advisor, Dr. Brenda Talley. Her scholarly project, Prevention of Coronary Artery Disease in Patients with Type 2 Diabetes Mellitus, Development of a Checklist.
Will the candidates for master's degrees please stand? President Altenkirk, the School of Graduate Studies presents these candidates for master's degrees. On behalf of the graduate faculty, I recommend that the degrees be conferred.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty of the University of Alabama in Huntsville, I confer upon each of you the master's degree for which you've been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to that degree. Welcome to the company of scholars.
Please come to the stage to receive your diplomas. Family and friends, please note that the graduates will be entering from both sides of the stage. Students from the colleges of liberal arts, science, and nursing will enter on my left, and those from the colleges of business administration and engineering will enter on my right.
Mallory Catherine Braun, Masters of Science, Aerospace Systems Engineering.
Samuel O'Neill Izat, Master of Accountancy.
Ali Butt.
Madeline R. Engels, Master of Business Administration.
Brian Keith Dozer.
Sally Elizabeth Badud, Master of Business Administration.
Nishant Reddy Goli.
Randy J. Barber, Jr., Masters of Business Administration.
Cody Christopher Hall, Masters of Science, Aerospace Systems Engineering.
Jonathan Ryan Brown, Master of Business Administration.
Owen Reese Hines, Masters of Science, Aerospace Systems Engineering.
Eugene Vinoy Ramon Carter, Master of Business Administration.
Ashley Lauren Miller, Masters of Science, Aerospace Systems Engineering.
Matthew G. Cruz, Master of Business Administration.
Olivia Christine Scott, Masters of Science, Aerospace Systems Engineering.
Christopher Adam Driggers, Master of Business Administration.
Ali Ahaj Darwish, Masters of Science and Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Andrew John Deuce, Master of Business Administration.
Lakshmi Balachandran, Masters of Science and Engineering, Computer Engineering.
Violet Ruffin Edwards, Master of Business Administration.
Laura Ashley Barquette, Masters of Science and Engineering, Aerospace Engineering.
Michelle Johnson Givens, Master of Business Administration.
Jason Scott Cole, Masters of Science and Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Jessica Groupier, Master of Business Administration.
Elizabeth Corcoran Dietering, Masters of Science and Engineering, Industrial and Systems Engineering.
Catherine Ward Kilgo, Master of Business Administration.
Michael Thomas Fredericks, Masters of Science and Engineering, Mechanical Engineering.
William Roland Lambert, Master of Business Administration.
Christopher Michael Goff, Masters of Science and Engineering, Civil Engineering.
Carson David Landers, Master of Business Administration.
Clayton Turner Hughes, Masters of Science and Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Lacey Lynn Laster, Master of Business Administration.
Gautam Jaluru, Masters of Science and Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Megan Scott Llewellyn, Master of Business Administration.
Elahi Khani, Masters of Science in Engineering, Chemical Engineering.
Tsai Swan Lin, Master of Business Administration.
Kyle Seth Knox, Masters of Science in Engineering, Mechanical Engineering.
Nathan Andrew List, Master of Business Administration.
Chrissy Brooke Kozer, Master of Science in Engineering, Industrial and Systems Engineering.
Mia Antoinette Morales, Master of Business Administration.
Akshay Ganesh Kulkarni, Masters of Science in Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Matthew T. Reed, Master of Business Administration.
Masha Leona Legati, Master of Science in Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Kristen L. Rodardi, Master of Business Administration.
Alexander A. McCool IV, Masters of Science in Engineering, Mechanical Engineering.
Amber M. Socedo Cortez, Master of Business Administration.
Richard Keith Nagel, Jr., Master of Science in Engineering, Industrial and Systems Engineering.
Douglas Wayne Scott II, Master of Business Administration.
Sai Maluka Nandingam, Master of Science in Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Andrea Page Thompson, Master of Business Administration.
Dina Michelle Nesmith, Masters of Science in Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Samah Abdelmagid, Master of Science in Information Systems.
Derek Wade O'Rear, Master of Science in Engineering, Aerospace Engineering.
Deepa Anantaraman, Master of Science in Information Systems.
Albert Edward Patterson V, Master of Science in Engineering, Industrial and Systems Engineering.
Derek Richard Williams, Master of Science in Information Systems.
Arist Pena, Jr., Master of Science in Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Rachel Marie Cochran, Master of Arts, English.
Justin Alex Robinson, Master of Science in Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Erin Michelle Gowdy, Master of Arts, English.
Willie Chingwei Tang, Master of Science in Engineering, Mechanical Engineering.
Elizabeth Madry Harden, Master of Arts, English.
Leah Garnett Tracy, Master of Science in Engineering, Electrical Engineering.
Ashley Morgan Sylvester, Master of Arts, English.
Justin Vanderford, Master of Science in Engineering, Industrial and Systems Engineering. Surya Teja Viravali, Master of Science in Engineering, Computer Engineering. Jackson Carrington Lee Wilson, Master of Science in Engineering, Industrial and Systems Engineering. Christopher M. Webb, Master of Science in Software Engineering, Computer Engineering. Reem Al-Asalama, Master of Science, Physics. Venkata Fanindra Reddy Bafananam, Master of Science, Computer Science. Samsakar Reddy Bogareddy, Master of Science, Computer Science. Craig Sabrin Bosma, Master of Science, Mathematics. James Charles Brenton, Master of Science, Earth System Science. Bimal Aditya Gangaraju, Master of Science, Computer Science. Erica Knott, Master of Science, Biological Science. Abhay Santosh Kaduru, Master of Science, Computer Science. Krishna Prasad Mata, Master of Science, Computer Science. Kenneth Earl Pence, Jr., Master of Science, Biological Science. Konstantinos Propiatis, Master of Science, Computer Science. Suman Shakya, Master of Science, Computer Science. Prativa Sharma, Master of Science, Biological Science. Sridhan Shrestha, Master of Science, Computer Science. Madhu Sudan Sigdal, Master of Science, Computer Science. Srinivas Saru, Master of Science, Computer Science. Jinlei Jing, Master of Science, Physics. Viktanak Tron, Master of Science, Biological Science. Jessica Charlotte Aaron, Master of Science in Nursing. Christina Isabella Ragasa Adams, Master of Science in Nursing.
Amanda Leanne McCann, Master of Science in Nursing.
Randall Alban, Master of Science in Nursing.
Lilimit Maktan, Master of Science in Nursing.
Emilia E. Ari, Master of Science in Nursing.
Christy L. Morrison, Master of Science in Nursing.
Melissa Ann Acock, Master of Science in Nursing.
Lynette L. Moxie, Master of Science in Nursing.
Amanda Catherine Barton, Master of Science in Nursing.
Kristen Mosier Nero, Master of Science in Nursing.
Cynthia Elaine Bates, Master of Science in Nursing.
Monica Lynn Newton, Master of Science in Nursing.
April Brown, Master of Science in Nursing.
Jessica Lauren Oliver, Master of Science in Nursing.
Misty Michelle Brown, Master of Science in Nursing.
Elizabeth Hannah Otto, Master of Science in Nursing.
Michelle K. Bull, Master of Science in Nursing.
Naomi Sato Owens, Master of Science in Nursing.
Leah Pochop Bush, Master of Science in Nursing.
Christina A. Parker, Master of Science in Nursing.
Andrea Stapler Castile, Master of Science in Nursing.
Tiffany Elizabeth Peel, Master of Science in Nursing.
Yunwei Chang, Master of Science in Nursing.
Amy Pittman, Master of Science in Nursing.
Elizabeth Ellen Clark, Master of Science in Nursing.
Heather Rebecca Porch, Master of Science in Nursing.
Suzanne Larimore Crocker, Master of Science in Nursing.
Amanda J. Qualls, Master of Science in Nursing.
Allison Leigh Dalton, Master of Science in Nursing.
Maria Eugene Rachuono, Master of Science in Nursing.
Anne Marie Fraley Rainey, Master of Science in Nursing.
Nancy Klein Reedy, Master of Science in Nursing.
Christine Marie Fussell, Master of Science in Nursing.
Michael Alexander Richardson, Master of Science in Nursing.
David Manson Grisham, Master of Science in Nursing.
Teresia L. Roach, Master of Science in Nursing.
Amber Nicole Horton, Master of Science in Nursing.
Angela G. Sellers, Master of Science in Nursing.
Ashley Renee J., Master of Science in Nursing.
Betty Lillian Smith, Master of Science in Nursing.
Kalan Ann Kelch, Master of Science in Nursing.
Misty Lynn Sorrow, Master of Science in Nursing.
Marie Noblet Kennedy, Master of Science in Nursing.
Tanya F. Stotts, Master of Science in Nursing.
Ashley Page King, Master of Science in Nursing.
Carla Swanson Trail, Master of Science in Nursing.
Shannon Lynn Lee, Master of Science in Nursing.
Jennifer Sexton Turner, Master of Science in Nursing.
Rhonda Jane Markham, Master of Science in Nursing.
Valerie Lynn Vanstone, Master of Science in Nursing.
Mary H. Martin, Master of Science in Nursing.
Renee T. Wall, Master of Science in Nursing.
Murphy Emma Mashburn, Master of Science in Nursing.
Kelly Elizabeth Wells, Master of Science in Nursing. Wendy Watson White, Master of Science in Nursing. Shauna Janae Williams, Master of Science in Nursing. Kimberly T. Willis, Master of Science in Nursing. Abby Rose Hitchcock Wilson, Master of Science in Nursing. Christina Diane Zuslog, Master of Science in Nursing.
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees please stand? President Altenkirk, the faculty of the colleges present these candidates who have completed all requirements for their bachelor's degrees. On behalf of the faculty of the university, I recommend that the degrees be conferred.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Alabama in Huntsville, I confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree for which you have been recommended, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. Welcome to the company of university-educated women and men.
Will the graduates who have earned their bachelor's degrees please come to the stage to receive your diplomas? Family and friends, please note that the graduates will be entering from both sides of the stage. Students from the colleges of liberal arts, science, and nursing will enter on my left, and those from the colleges of business administration and engineering will enter on my right.
Caleb S. Duke, summa cum laude.
Jennifer Marie Bish, Honors College, summa cum laude.
Jordan Barrios.
Brian Caleb Anderson. Jennifer L. Arnold. Ashish V. Baria, magna cum laude. Carmelita Maria Beaver. Catherine Grace Becken, summa cum laude. Lynn Isbell Bennett. Rachel Ann Marie Brown. Robert Neil Bunch.
James Michael Allen.
Wilman Lee Burkett III, cum laude.
Sam Lee Anderson, cum laude.
Elizabeth Burnett, cum laude.
Elizabeth Javine Barber.
Austin Thomas Butts.
Brian Christopher Barker, cum laude.
William Maxwell Carter, cum laude.
Victoria Rose Blakely, cum laude.
Lena Marcela Carvajal Jurado.
Cassandra Gladys Lorian Boone.
Rebecca Cho, magna cum laude.
Savannah Emily Burton.
Jonathan C. Cloud.
Rebecca Suzanne Collins.
Grace Renice Cochran, summa cum laude.
Ross Alexander Comfer, magna cum laude.
Samuel Ellis Cornelius, cum laude.
Sarah Beth Creel, summa cum laude.
Rachel Marie Darson.
Sonia Denise Fowler.
Andrew Lee Dempsey.
Courtney Nicole Goodun.
Caitlin Raquel Dickerson.
Jessica Lauren Gore, cum laude.
Matthew E. Eddy, summa cum laude.
Anna Catherine Grace, summa cum laude.
Lauren Peggy Elam, cum laude.
Kristen Noel Harris, cum laude.
Suela Francisco.
Jessica Marie Hayes, summa cum laude.
Marianne Denise Gilliam.
Wendy Leigh Hazel, cum laude.
Kyle J. Glazik.
Mary Elizabeth Hendricks, magna cum laude.
Chelsea Elizabeth Gleason.
Matthew David Hendricks.
Christopher J. Grow.
Daniel Scott Hill.
Jasmine Monique Hammond.
Macy Kim Ladkey.
Jeffrey Chase Handley.
Garrett Stephen Holmes, cum laude.
Barbara Lee Hayes, magna cum laude.
Lindsay Horstick.
Andrew Mark Holcomb.
Jasmine Chanel Jones.
David Warren Hufed.
Marie N. Kaminsky, summa cum laude.
Alexander H. Hughes.
Jessica Renee King.
Anna Lee Johnson.
Elise Marie Luria, magna cum laude.
Kayla M. Johnson.
Margaret Catherine Montgomery Souder.
Morgan E. Johnson.
Haley Marie Nast.
Brianna M. Kellum.
Tiffany Danielle North.
Jessica Marie King, cum laude.
Megan Elise Pierce.
Jessica Lauren Coble.
Lynette Elizabeth Potter.
Kevin B. Leach.
JC Ray Quam.
Hyunju Lim.
Nolan Olivia Quam.
Oshel Abelon Lopez.
Rebecca A. Raymond, magna cum laude.
Andrew J. Lowe.
Daniela Sanchez, honors college, cum laude.
Shelby Maxwell.
David Michael Smith.
Denzel M. McGlathery.
Gregory Lanier Thomas.
Justin Allen McNutt, cum laude.
LaShondra Monet Thomas.
Royce Miller.
Phyllis Brown Turner, cum laude.
Terry Andrew Philip Morgan.
Jasmine Catherine Vidari, cum laude.
Carl M. Sudokus.
Lorraine A. Wade, summa cum laude.
Samantha Megan Murphy.
Adrian Woodland, cum laude.
Scott Nicholas O'Neill.
Robert Austin Archard.
Kevin Joseph Pape.
Amanda G. Blanton, summa cum laude.
Brett Patterson Powell, cum laude.
Maria Page Hedden, magna cum laude.
Skylar C. Ritch, cum laude.
Rebecca M. Hauser, cum laude.
Laura Catherine Robison.
Jennifer Lene Beething.
Jessica LaShawn Roan.
Benjamin Allen Brackney, magna cum laude.
Sarah Caitlin Smith, cum laude.
Kenya Tamika Bright.
Lee Neffy Smithson, magna cum laude.
Brandon A. Calvert.
Tanyaya Rashawn Spiller.
Christopher Michael Coleman.
Laura C. Statham.
Alejandro Elliott Comanero, cum laude.
Derek A. Sutton.
Nicholas Dale Cox, cum laude.
Dawn May Sylvester, summa cum laude.
Nicole Michelle Dickens.
Nathan Evan Todd.
Tao T. Doe.
Zachariah Allen Tucker.
Jamie J. Dornan.
Joshua Allen Vogel, cum laude.
Michael S. Foss.
Althea Chanel Westbrook.
Robert William Gamble.
Nicole K. Wiles.
Joseph Paul Gregory, magna cum laude.
Davis Rust Yarborough.
Alexander Ross Hayden.
Michael Patrick Henry, summa cum laude.
Aaron Scott Hensley.
Mirza Imtiaz Ahmed.
Julia Clark Hollis.
John Benton Alcorn, cum laude.
Travis A. Igboen, cum laude.
Cody L. Blue, summa cum laude.
Megan Leanne Kincaid.
Damon T. Ferris.
Jennifer Ann Lee.
Takahiro Ishitobi, cum laude.
Caitlin Ann Lynch, magna cum laude.
Dominique Danielle Jefferson.
Nuzat F. Majid.
Anne Renee Kelly, cum laude.
Dennis Wayne Minot.
Dustin Wayne Love.
Adam Edward Pike. His degree will be awarded posthumously and is being received on his behalf by his brother, Matthew Pike.
Andrew Miller.
Wyatt Andrew Powell.
Bradley Ross Miller.
Timothy Lee Reeves, Honor College, cum laude.
Alan Chandler Mills.
Adrian Sarimi, summa cum laude.
Sasha D. Mujica.
Harsha Srikalapu.
Ashley Dawn Neely, cum laude.
Brian Edward Seuss.
Bradley Michael Parton.
Andrew Warren Swallam.
Derek Cole Redford.
Kevin Peter Ton.
Caitlin Elizabeth Smith.
Timothy Kyle Uselton.
Kira Renee Thomas.
Jeremy Ray Wilburn.
Brandon Lee Camp.
Stephen Richard Wikowski.
Coralie Francis Edens.
Courtney Alyssa Wood, cum laude.
Ryan W. Little, magna cum laude.
Darcy Jean Deuce, cum laude.
Joshua Nathaniel McCurdy.
Catherine Ann Bruce, summa cum laude.
Jessica Bailey Robinson.
Ashlyn Ann Canty.
Hannah Elizabeth South, summa cum laude.
Lindsay Suzanne Carter.
Amanda Sticker, cum laude.
Laura A. Chandler.
Stacia Joy Watts.
Liberty Rose Dodd, magna cum laude.
Wesley Stephen Bartholomew.
Kimberly Diane Dunson.
Thomas A. Cassidy, summa cum laude.
Brittany N. Elder.
Robert Kimball Cole, summa cum laude.
Lindra Nicole Fox.
Wesley A. Eladui, summa cum laude.
Katrina Long Gaddis, cum laude.
John Brandon Ross.
Renee Marie Grutheson.
Caleb Lacer Stewart, magna cum laude.
Sandra Delfina Gutierrez.
Jacob Nathaniel Swanson, cum laude.
Davian Kristen Hargett.
John B. Wilkes III, summa cum laude.
Jacob Scott Hill.
Christopher T. Amon, cum laude.
Amy Alicia Holt.
Donna M. Bond.
Deborah Gamble Jackson, cum laude.
Brian R. Brown.
Amber Monique Jennings.
Chelsea Christina Cosby, magna cum laude.
Whitney Nicole Jones.
Nicholas Cecil Courtney.
Kayla Elizabeth Kinnemer.
Matthew Crowder.
Jennifer Shelton Lentz, summa cum laude.
Mario Marcellus Cummins, cum laude.
Kaylin Ryan Light.
Michael Ryan Kurtz.
Freddie Juan Matias.
Marcia Ann Custer.
Sarah Capri McHugh, cum laude.
Clifton Michael D'Alessandro.
Laura Marie McDaniel.
Antoine Jamal Davis.
Sarah L. Nelms.
Omid Atta Delami.
Teresa Ya Owasuwa, cum laude.
Patrick Fitzgerald Doyle, magna cum laude.
Radhika Patel.
Allison Danielle Garnes.
Deborah Lynn Pike, cum laude.
James Harden, cum laude.
Philippa B. Powell.
Divan T. Harper.
Kaylin Brooke Reeves.
Kara Lee Haynes, cum laude.
Jonathan Michael Sanborn, cum laude.
Robert Carl Jensen III, magna cum laude.
Patrick Sellers.
Michael Jumper.
Kamika Alana Shields, Honors College, cum laude.
Colm G. Kane, cum laude.
Angela Brooke Smiley.
Catherine Elizabeth Kennedy.
Emily Frances Steele.
Clinton James Knox, magna cum laude.
John J. Svatek, cum laude.
Beverly Gale Martin.
Lakia Shunta Tyus.
Matthew G. Mercier.
Jessica Ann Walker.
Joseph Earl Miley.
Michael David Watson.
Larry Arthur Miller.
Jason B. Horton.
Jacob Keith Nix.
Constance D. Wilson.
Rafael Oliveira.
Jennifer Christie Wood, magna cum laude.
Heath Liesel Proctor.
Blossom M. Umul.
Jarek Devin Roll.
John Gabriel Abernathy, cum laude.
Sean Michael Stewart. H. Martez Taylor.
Jarrett Mack Brothers.
Joshua A. Torrance, magna cum laude.
Alexander Kyle Davis, cum laude.
Travis M. Tuck.
Tessa Marlis Hayes, cum laude.
Robert Brand Williams.
Joseph Michael Shrink.
Daniel J. Diary.
Ari S. Stevenson, cum laude.
Jeffrey T. Fortenberry.
Rachel Ann Stewart, cum laude.
Stephen Arthur Fredericks.
Colby T. Wallace.
Megan Elizabeth Hanback.
Douglas B. Aker, Jr.
Joseph Michael Keegan.
Bridget Shea Birdsong.
Walter S. King, Jr., summa cum laude.
Paul G. Clay, summa cum laude.
Caleb Trent Lamb, cum laude.
Dustin Eugene Kaufman.
Dong Tuan Lee, summa cum laude.
Amy Elizabeth Cooper, cum laude.
Keith Joseph Leahy, cum laude.
Tyler Dale Cunningham, cum laude.
Jordan Thomas Lee.
Brandon L. McNutt.
Thomas James Lombard.
Jonathan Tillahan Mitika.
Robert Derek Long II, cum laude.
Jacob Wesley Meir.
Molly Morgan Mahan, magna cum laude.
Kyle L. Nelson. Derek Grayson Odom. Caleb K. Ownby. Megan Danielle Pitts. Jacelyn B. Smith. Matthew C. Spalding. Scott Thomas Springer. Victor Joel Tapia. Jonathan L. Terrell. Sherry Monique Thorne.
In the life of each student, there are loved ones who have helped to make this great day possible. So in recognition of this special day, will all the following please rise and be recognized with a round of applause? Mothers and fathers of the graduates. How about grandmothers and grandfathers? How about spouses? How about children of the graduates? And children of the graduates. Let me thank everyone for coming, and let's give the graduates one more round of applause. Thank you.
In closing today, we will follow our custom of singing the alma mater. Please stand for the alma mater, which is printed on the screen and on page 1 of your program. Afterward, we invite you to attend a reception honoring our graduates in the East Halls immediately following the recessional. To get to the East Halls, you go out the arena, down the steps, and turn left in the lobby. You may greet your graduate at his or her college table, which will be marked by these gonfalons up front. Our faculty and deans will also be present to meet you. Please remain at your seats until the recessional is completed. Thank you.
Hail to thee, proud UAH, in loyalty we stand. We give thee to UAH.